In this video we are going to duplicate a controller that has a view. It has a bit more considerations that should be taken into account, and I'm going to use the version control tool in this video to demonstrate the changes, not to demonstrate the usage of version control. So don't follow the steps I'm doing on version control. I'm just going to use it to prove a point. So here we have a controller with two inner controllers, details and totals, and we want to duplicate the details controller, sorry. So we're going to start by duplicating it. I'm going to say copy, I'll copy it with its comments, and paste it. Okay, and just like before, we're going to get a lot of warnings. Now I want to first of all commit this to version control so we can see the changes that we've done. So we're going to say show orders, commit, just copied. Okay, great. Now the reasons we are getting all of these errors, and the error list is impressive. So if we look at the error list, we'll get quite a few errors. Most of them come from the fact that we have two classes with the same name. So we're going to rename our class name to details new, and we're going to rename our view name to details, constructor name to details new. Okay. After doing this, most of the errors that we had went away. Okay, so we can see in our error list we only have one error that we're going to regard in a second. But to get away from most of the errors, we just needed to rename our class, our new class that we copied, into a new name. And we can see it here in the changes. Perfect. So rename the class and rename the constructor. Renamed class and constructor. Perfect. Now let's go and look at the last errors that we have, which is saying argument 1 cannot convert from show orders details new to details, and it indicates the constructor for the view. Okay, so what happens here? The view that we are referring to is still the original view of the original details screen, and that original view expects to get a details controller, but we are sending it ourselves, which is a details new controller. So obviously we cannot use the same view for two controllers, so let's go ahead and duplicate the view as well. So I'm going to go to Northwind Orders Views, Show Order Details. I'll just copy and paste it, and I'll call it also Show Orders Details New. Okay, and we're going to get some of the same problems over here. Obviously it doesn't like it straight out of the box. So let's have a look at the view code. Okay, actually, let's first of all again commit it to the version control. Just duplicated the view, and later we see the changes that we needed to do to the view. Okay. So again, we have the duplicate class names. So we're going to call it show order details new. Okay, and it should receive details new. Okay. By doing that, most of the problems went away, but there's still one more thing to consider. Okay, when we duplicated the class, it duplicated all of its files, and there's actually a third file that needs to be taken into account, the show order details new designer in this case. Okay, by renaming the class name, we rename it only in this partial class, but there's also another partial class. Let's explain that in a bit more depth. When we have the code for the designer, when we have a screen, it actually has two code files, the normal code behind file that we are used to, and another code behind file that is called the designer file. This is where Visual Studio saves all the properties of all the controls and everything that goes on. Okay, now since we duplicated it, now it's duplicated and it's confusing everyone. And we so far only fixed the name of the class in the code behind. So you also need to fix the name of the class in the designer code. Okay, and that should have solved all of our problems. Let's see what's the last ones that we have. Details 541 in the details new. So now we should call show order details new. We should call our new view. Okay, so let's recap. Let's look at the version control and see what we've done. So after we duplicated the view, okay, in the new copy of the view, we changed the name of the class, added new to it, okay, and to its constructor, and we referenced our new controller. In the code behind, we also, sorry, in the designer code, we also changed the name of the class, and in our controller code, okay, we referenced the new views that we wanted to reference. Okay, so that's it. That's how you duplicate a controller with a view.